Teachers of Reddit, what was the moment you realized, this kid is gonna be a serial killer one day? Not a teacher but a therapist who used to work for a state hospital for children, but now left. I had 4 kids. Kid 1. He was a 13-year-old who had severe aggression and ADHD. His parents were divorced. Dad wanted nothing to do with him, and Mom was an overprotector who was a holistic medicine dermatologist who demanded I call her doctor name every time I call her. Their son was hospitalized due to him beating up small children and fighting teachers. He was at my state hospital for a week where he would terrorize staff and children and would cause lockout between security and him. I tried calling his parents, but his dad had our number blocked. I knew this because when I called him on my phone it rang longer. He answered, then hung up. When I called him again, it said number not in use. And his mom only answered the phone late in the evening outside of work hours. Mom would get stories about what would happen at work and she demanded to get a call from me. One day we finally got a call from Mom and she's screaming at me on how she, sweet little boy, was a victim of society and I'm a horrendous therapist. She told the boy everything. The boy said, "Lol, my mom said you suck. I'll be out of here soon." Mom removed him from the hospital where he was hospitalized by Child Protective Services again. The state called me to ask why did I discharge. I told them he was discharged due to parents removing him from program prematurely. Last I heard kid was in juvie and Mom is trying to buy him out. 2. I had a 9-year-old who severe aggression. He held grudges and promised to kill other kids. He was sent to my hospital after choking a kid unconscious. I barely got back from a 3-week vacation and my supervisor had this kid unassigned for 3 weeks with no paperwork filed such as notes, intake, progress, and so on. They threw him in my caseload. 1 week later my supervisor demanded I release the kid because he'd been here long enough. I fought against it because this kid wasn't improving from what I heard. They discharged him instead. Kid was returned to us a week later after trying to kill the same kid again. 3. This kid was 12 years old who was exposed to porn and sexually molested by older women for 6 years because his father thought he was gay. This kid would masturbate in the hallway to shock people, grope other kids, sneak in a phone and watch porn loudly, tried to remove the tops on some girls or pants them. He wasn't on my caseload, but the therapist in charge of them quit on the spot and walked out because they demanded help with this case and many others. She was denied. She left to protect their license in the long run. The hospital discharged this kid to a lower level of care where he tried to rape another client. 4. One kid who was 12 was the definition of a sociopath. He just loved to hurt other kids. He one day grabbed the balls of this kid with autism. The kid with autism shouted with a loud scream and beat the sociopathic kids to a bloody pulp. Sociopath kid recovers after 3 days, is readmitted to our program where he goes back to the same kid just to touch his balls again and gets a second black eye. He never cried, he never got scared, he just loved what he did. Not a teacher, and do not know the outcome of this kid's life, but when I was in 4th or 5th grade, there was this older, wild troubled kid who rode our bus. He had curly red hair, always seemed to have scratches on his face, and he was unpredictable and creepy. We all avoided him. We were headed home after school when there was a loud scream from the back of the bus. Bus driver slammed on the brakes, and we all whip our heads around to see what the scream was about. The red-headed kid had attacked a kid in another seat, ripped a large scab off that other kid's arm, road rash from a bike accident on gravel, and was back in his seat chewing on the scab and laughing. As the bus driver approached the back, the other kid was bleeding and crying. We all realized in that moment that the crazy kid was genuinely dangerous. We never saw him again.